Well, hey everyone, my name is Dave and I want to welcome you to episode 2 of the YouTube Your Church show. I'm so glad that you could join us today. I hope that you are all starting to come into the chat room right now. You can always leave us some comments right here on the show. You can just go over to the comment section, leave a comment. We would love to know everything about you and your YouTube and your church and what you're actually currently doing. So why don't you let us know a little bit about yourself. If you've not joined us before, my name is Dave. This is the YouTube Your Church show. We know that you want to get the most out of YouTube for your church, and we really just want to help. We want to help you YouTube your church. Now, we've got a fantastic show coming up. I want to encourage you again, get into that chat window and let us know your questions about YouTube, what it is that your church is most interested in finding out, or are you actually using it? We'd first of all love to know who you are and where you're watching from, so you can go ahead and leave that in the chat right now, and so I can say a big hello to you. I already see that Danielle is in there. Danielle, how are you? Thank you so much for watching. You're following so you can watch later. Okay, great. I would love to have you watch later as well. So why don't you join us later on. This is going to be up here in the Church Communications group for the rest of, who knows, as long as the internet is going, I think. So tell us right now in the chat where you're watching from. And also, I want to know the answer to this question. I want to get the conversation going. The great thing about doing live things like this is that we get to interact with all of our viewers. So I want to know, what is your favorite YouTube channel? Who's that YouTuber that you like, or what is the channel that you most like to watch? Also, let us know right now if there's any audio issues or anything like that. I would love to know that too, so I can just get that fixed. Joy is joining us from West Cobb Church in Marietta. Wayne is watching from North Carolina. Hey Wayne, how are you doing? It's great to have you here. Mark from Birmingham, I'm so glad that you're with us as well. Remember, the second question I want you to answer is, who is your favorite YouTuber or your favorite YouTube channel? That's what I want to know. Katrina, hey Dave, trying to use vidIQ to up our YouTube search. Katrina, I'm going to be talking about that a little bit later on, and in fact, I may be even be able to give you a discount code or a code that allows you to get a month free trial of vidIQ. So make sure you keep a lookout for that one. Hey, I want to just go through what we're going to be talking about on today's show. We're only here for about 30 minutes. But what I like to do is I like to continue the conversation going even after the show by coming back here and just checking the comments. So make sure you continue to write comments, even if you're watching this tomorrow or a month from now or a year from now. Keep the comments coming, and I promise you I will get in and I will respond to every comment. Well, coming up on today's show, we've got a few things planned. I'm going to do some introductions first. I've kind of already done that. Then the big thing for today is I'm going to start a 2-part series called The 10 Commandments of YouTube. These are the 10 things that I think every church needs to be doing, every ministry leader needs to be doing in order to get their YouTube channel optimized and up to a level that is allowing it to compete with all the other things that are going on in the world of YouTube. So today I'm starting part 1 of the 10 Commandments of YouTube. A little bit later on in the show, I'm going to be taking your questions about YouTube. Anything that you might want to know, anything that you've got questions about, or maybe trends that you're seeing, I would love to know all about those. So I'm going to give you a spot to answer to ask your questions, and I'll try to find some answers. If I don't have the answers, I have no doubt that people in this chat are very smart, probably smarter than me, and they'll be able to answer your questions along with me. Then after that, we're going to give you the channel to watch this week. Every week, I like to give everybody a channel that has really caught my attention for whatever reason. So I'm going to share that. And then the video of the week. And then I'm going to tell you what is coming up next week on this show. So if you are just joining us, I want you to know that my name is Dave. I am the host of the YouTube Your Church show here in the Church Communications group. I'm so glad that you could join us, and I want to encourage you to leave a comment. Tell us where you're watching from. Tell us what your favorite YouTuber is. I promise I will get to all the questions a little bit later on in the show. Actually, it's probably my favorite part of this show is to get to answer all of your questions. We're going to be talking today specifically about my 10 commandments to YouTube Your Church. Those 10 things that I think you need to be focused on in the short term and to get sorted out as quickly as possible so that you can YouTube your church and optimize it to its fullest capacity. This is a checklist that is designed to get you started, or if you've already started a YouTube channel, it is the sort of list that will hopefully help get you optimized so that your content can be found and can be found a lot easier. We want to give you the best chance to have people find your content online. See, as I said last week, YouTube really is the place that people go to find the answers for everything from fixing their car to fixing their marriage. And we want to help you on this show. We want to help you get your church optimized so that you get as many eyeballs as possible onto the content that your church is producing. So, as I'm going to continually say, if you've got any questions, make sure you leave them in the comment section. In fact, right now, why don't you tell us if your church, whether or not your church has a YouTube channel. If it does, just write yes. If it doesn't, write no. If you're in the process of getting it sorted out, I would love to know that as well. Trey Van Camp, Wayne says Trey Van Camp Trey is fantastic. I love his YouTube channel. He's one of my favorites as well, Wayne. That is a great get. If you've got a favorite YouTuber or a favorite YouTube channel, why don't you leave that in the comment section? We would love to see that. Well, as I said, I want to get to the 10 commandments to YouTube your church. These are the top 10 things that I think you and your church needs to focus on first in order to get your YouTube channel as fully optimized as possible. Now, maybe you haven't started a YouTube channel yet at your church. If that's the case, then I really believe these tips are going to help you as well. So let's get straight into it. Tip number one is the cover image. This is one of those things that often gets overlooked, but the cover image, the banner that goes across the top of your YouTube channel, is extremely important. It's got a number of different aspects to it that allow you to have really clear calls to action, as well as links to your social media and to your YouTube, so that you're giving people the next step. After they've watched a couple of your videos, you can leverage the banner to help, the YouTube banner to help people find out where they can find out more information about your church. I want to give you a couple of quick examples of what this should look like. First and foremost, here are three YouTube banners from some of the biggest churches in the world. The first one is, I think that's Passion City. I could be wrong. I think it was Passion City. The second one is Hillsong, and then Life Church. So three rather large churches, each with a different approach. You see the bottom one there is Life Church. They literally just have a photo taken during, it looks like it was during a worship service. And I like that sort of banner because it gives you the opportunity to get an insight into your church. So if somebody stumbles upon your content on YouTube, a banner like that bottom one gives people the opportunity to experience your church before they physically experience your church. I've said this before, that social media gives people the opportunity to connect with your church before they connect within your church. And this is a really great example of a YouTube banner that does that. That middle one there is the Hillsong United's YouTube banner. You can see that's it gives you an insight into what the church or what a concert for Hillsong United might look like, but it also has a very clear, I guess it's a one-word purpose statement that everything is focused on Jesus. And then that top one, inspiring people to live for Jesus. I really like that one because it kind of is the best of all three worlds. It gives you a call to action. It shows you what the church looks like, but it also tells you a little bit about what the church's mission is. And so for that reason, that top one, inspiring people to live for Jesus, is probably my favorite YouTube banner of the lot. Now, there's a lot that goes into making an effective and a well-optimized YouTube banner. There's a number of different aspects to the banner. I'm not sure if you could tell them there. And if you couldn't, I'm going to make sure to go into a little bit more detail right now. You'll see this is that Hillsong United banner that we showed just a little bit earlier. And one of the first things I want to encourage people to do is, first of all, get a quality photo and decide whether you're going to go with just a photo of what it looks like inside your church, or if you're going to include your church vision. That's the first thing you need to do. And then this is an often overlooked part. You'll see that part there that is directed to by the arrow. That's YouTube's built-in link URL, live URL link system. You see Hillsong have linked to a couple of different things, including their Twitter and their Facebook. You can actually include up to 4 items in this section of the YouTube banner. You can have a website, and you can have up to 3 social media channels. So I typically would encourage you to go with Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, not necessarily in that order. But make sure you leverage that. I see so many YouTube accounts that don't actually have utilized that live link component. So I want to encourage you, first of all, if you've got a YouTube channel, currently you've got a great YouTube banner, you're very happy with that, make sure that your links are live, make sure they're active, and you will figure out how to do that in the YouTube Studio section. When you upload your YouTube banner, that's where you'll put it in, and it links to the About page as well. Now, another key part of this YouTube banner is a section over to the right on every YouTube channel. If you're looking at a YouTube channel on a desktop, what happens is the YouTube banner is unique to any other banner on social media in that the middle component is the part that's active for mobile devices, but when it comes to desktop, you've got a little bit more width on either side. And so you see this church here, Woodstock City Church, they've used this side part to great effect by doing an actual call to action built into the YouTube banner. So that's a great tip to do as well. Not only do you want to use those live links, which they've done there effectively as well, but they have also used that section that's off to the side that can only be seen on a desktop to give a clear call to action to anybody who comes onto that site. And then you'll see their live links include their social media handles, but also the opportunity to subscribe. So that call to action is there on the banner, and people don't have to look very far to find out how they can actually do that. They just need to scroll down just a little bit further to actually take the next step in following that channel as well. So that is a really a great looking banner in my opinion, because it utilizes everything, a clear call to action when people arrive onto the page, but it also gives them live links to where they can actually take that next step. They can actually take that step into action and subscribe. So I really like both of those. I really like that as an optimized banner when it comes to YouTube. So that was 10 Commandments of YouTube. Number 1, the cover photo. Make sure you're putting time and energy into the cover photo that you put on your YouTube channel. The second of the 10 Commandments of YouTube is actually channel tags. Again, another of those things that YouTube has built into its platform that a lot of us overlook because we get so caught up and interested in posting our videos and doing things like that we miss the opportunity to really optimize our channel by using channel tags. Now I just want to walk through what that looks like and how we can actually do it. You'll see here that typically if you go to any YouTube channel, this is what the front page would look like. And if you're talking about your church's account, what you would do is you would click up in the top right hand corner to pull down a little drop down menu, and you want to click on the YouTube Studio section, the YouTube Studio section. Click on that button, and what that will bring up is a little area where you can click the settings button, and when you click that, it pulls up a little inlet window like this one. And to get your channel settings correct, what you want to do is you actually want to click on the channel section, and then you can see there that I've typed in a whole bunch of different channel tags. The reason these are important is because YouTube actually leverages things like channel tags, the description that you use on your About page, to determine what sort of category it's going to place your channel in. Now, remember what I said, YouTube is the place that people go to find answers for absolutely everything from fixing their car to fixing their marriage. And so when they go to YouTube and they type in a topic that your church has done something about, YouTube's going to determine what your channel tags are, what your YouTube videos uploads are typically about, and what your channel's description is in order to determine whether or not YouTube and Google are going to throw up your video as the answer to that question that people are asking. Again, another one of those really often overlooked components to a YouTube channel is the channel tag. So I just want to encourage you to use those. I want to talk them through again one more time. You want to click on your home page, then you'll go to the YouTube Studio section. In that, you want to click on the settings, and that will pull up a little window where you click channel, and that's where you want to write your YouTube tags. And these tags need to basically explain what your videos, what your channel is really all about. So you want to have your channel name in there. You might want to have your pastor's name in there. You might want to talk about some of the things that the content is going to cover as well. So make sure you have your channel tags set up, make sure they're turned on, and that will give you the best opportunity to have your content found when people are looking for things on YouTube. We're getting up to the third now commandment of the 10 commandments of YouTube. If you're just joining us now, my name is Dave. This is the YouTube Your Church show. I want to get to know you a little bit better, so make sure you tell me who you are in the comment section. Maybe tell us where you're watching from. And we're also asking this question today: who is your favorite YouTuber, or what is your favorite YouTube channel? It doesn't have to be a church, but if it is, I want to know what churches do you think are absolutely crushing it on YouTube, or what ministry leaders, what Christian channels do you watch? I'd love to know what they are, so make sure you leave them in a comment so we can check them out a little bit later on. Now, the third commandment that I have today, remember, we're talking through the top 10 commandments of YouTube. I'm going to be going through 1 through 5 today, and then I'll be picking it up again tomorrow. The third commandment is video titles. This is one of those things that, again, often gets overlooked, but because YouTube is the second biggest search engine in the world, we need to be able to leverage that capacity by giving our video titles keyword optimized titles. This is one of those things, again, it just gets overlooked, and we just upload videos and we think that, too many churches use YouTube like we used to use Vimeo as just a place to store our videos, but it's actually a search engine. So we want to make sure that our content is being found, and the best way to do that is to upload keyword titled videos. Now, I know a lot of you guys who are connected to a church are probably just uploading the messages that your pastor has done on the previous week or something along those lines, and maybe the title of the sermon, the message, is not given much thought. But if you can get into the habit of keyword optimizing your titles before you upload them, that becomes a really clear and easy way for people to find your content. Now, you might be thinking that, well, I've uploaded 100 videos over the past couple of years and none of them were keyword optimized. Well, the great thing is that YouTube gives you the ability to go back and retitle all of your videos. You can even upload brand new thumbnails that match that title, and the keyword process for that video will start all over again. I mentioned last week that one of the things we did at North Point, where I am on the media team there and happen to do some work, one of the things we did last year was we went back through a whole bunch of messages, like 2 years worth of content, and we retitled each one of those individual message videos to a keyword optimized title. And what we saw was, at some of our churches, we saw up to 124% increase in viewing time because of the keyword title change. That's the only thing we changed, but our viewing time went up and to the right simply by changing the message title. Even though that message was 2 years old, it restarted that whole keyword optimization again, and we suddenly became, some of these older videos got a lot more views because of that message title change. So I would encourage you, that's an easy way to start getting some more views on your church's YouTube channel, is simply by changing the titles from old messages into something that is more keyword optimized. I'm going to be talking about that a little bit later on, probably next week in part 2 of this 10 commandments of YouTube that I'm doing here. I'll talk about keyword optimization because that is such a key part of making your YouTube channel as successful as possible. Another thing along with titles, which I'm going to get into next week also, is keyword playlist. When you create a playlist, if you can keyword title that playlist, the keyword playlist along with the keyword video actually helps your videos get more views and be found in when people are doing searches for specific topics. So I'll talk a little bit more about that next week when I cover keyword playlists. So make sure you're keeping an eye out for that one right here at 2 p.m. Once again, if you're joining us for the very first time, my name is Dave. This is the YouTube Your Church show. I would love to get to know you a little bit better, so make sure you leave your name and where you're watching from in the comment section, and let me know any questions that you might have about anything that I've shared so far, especially when it comes to YouTube. So we're going to get into commandment number 4 of the 10 commandments of YouTube. And this one is default upload tags. Again, the way that YouTube works, because it is a search engine, the tags that you place on a video play a significant role in helping your videos get found. And again, it's one of those things that maybe we type in a couple as we upload a video, we might type in a couple of tags, but YouTube actually has a default upload tag section where you can preset certain tags, a certain number of tags that will default go onto every video that you upload. The way that you find that is, once again, you go to your homepage on YouTube. You want to click on the top right hand corner where the icon, your icon is. Drop down menu will take you to the YouTube studio. And once you're in there, you want to click on the default uploads section. It's the upload defaults. And when you scroll down just a little bit in that window, you will see an area that allows you to upload and to post in tags that will by default go onto every video that you do. So I want to tell you how to get there. The pathway again, the pathway is YouTube Studio to settings, from settings to upload defaults, and then you go to that tag box. And again, what you want to be typing here is the tags that will go with every video that you upload to YouTube. So there might be pastors' names, there might be the name of your church, maybe the vision of your church. You want to make sure that you upload, you add those tags to your videos, and then every time that you upload a video, they just automatically get added to the new video upload. One of the key things to remember though when you're uploading tags is, and I see this all the time, if your church, like for example, the church that I work at is called North Point Church. What a lot of people do is they think that what they need to do is a single word tag. So for my example, it would be North and then a new tag Point and then a new tag Church. But that's not actually the way that YouTube operates. You have multi-word tags. You can have whole sentences as tags on your videos. So you want to make sure that you're doing the whole name of your church. In my case, North Point Church, as 3 separate words that all form one tag. And then you want to do variations of that. It might be North Point Messages. Our pastor's name is Andy Stanley, so we want to put Andy Stanley. And another key thing is to put the normal incorrect spelling of any name. So for us, again, just using our church as an example, people often ask if North Point is one word, so I might do North Point Church as just 2 words instead of 3. North Point does not have an E on it, but some people spell it that way. So I'll do those common misspellings as the tags on my videos, because it just helps, again, it just helps you get found when people are searching YouTube and Google for specific content. I want to welcome Jim and Brady, Kenny, Casey. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I hope you're getting a lot out of this. If you're just joining us for the first time, this is the YouTube Your Church show. I would love to get to know you. My name is Dave. I'm the host of the show, and I would love to get to know you as well. So make sure you tell me where you're watching from and leave a question in the comment section so that I can get to it and answer it. We're currently going through the 10 commandments of YouTube. I'm up to commandment number 5 now, so I'm going to just talk about that. Commandment number 5 is the video descriptions. The video descriptions. These are really important. There's so many different things that YouTube allows you to do, and one of them is to create descriptions that can be keyword optimized that help your video get found. You're going to hear this quite often on this show, is the idea of keyword optimizing and why it is so important. And it's not just in the message title, it's not just in the playlist, it's not just in the tags that you do or the name of the file that you upload, it's also in the description. Now, YouTube gives you quite an extensive area to put a description to your videos. And so you want to be as concise as possible, but you also want to make sure that you're using the keywords that best relate to your video. Now, the first 125 characters are the ones that are displayed on both mobile devices and desktop when people are getting to your YouTube channel. So you want to make sure those first 125 characters are actually the most compelling part of your description, and that they're keyword optimized as well. And I would also encourage you to make sure in the description you include any links that you want people to go to and any calls to action as well. Typically what I like to advise people to do is make sure that in the description of their video they have the church website, all the church YouTube accounts that are connected there, and make that a call to action. Don't just have them say, if you'd like to find out more information, click here, or if you'd like to get connected with us on social media, here are our social handles. And you can actually do live links that are accessible both on the desktop and on the mobile device as well. So make sure you're leveraging that description space, not just to talk about what the video is about, but to give people a next step when it comes to getting to know you and your church and connecting with you on a deeper level. Well, that's the first five of the top 10 10 commandments for YouTube and how to YouTube your church. Next week, I'm going to go through the next 5. I hope they were interesting enough for you. I hope there was something in that. I believe that there probably was. Okay, we're going to get now to our next section, which is your questions. This is the time when we just want to answer any questions that you might have about leveraging YouTube, using YouTube as a tool to help people connect with your church. So if you've got any questions right now, now is the time for you to put them into the comments area so that I can have a look. I'm just having a quick look now. Katrina has said, who else has their YouTube channel open on another tab right now? I hope that's the case, Katrina. I hope that some of this stuff was interesting. I know I've been rushing through it, but this is only a 30-minute show, and I've got a whole lot of stuff to say about YouTube, obviously. But the great thing is, you can go back and re-watch this video at any time. So make sure you do that. Go back, rewind just a little bit, catch up. Make sure you're using your YouTube banner photos to its best effect. Make sure you've got call to actions in the banner. Make sure you're using those YouTube links that are available in the banner as well. Make sure you're using channel tags. Make sure you're using default tags. Make sure your video titles are keyword optimized. And remember, you can always go back and retitle those videos. Brittany says that she is watching from Florida. Hey, Brittany. Casey, all the way from Atlanta. Wet Atlanta it is today. That's where I'm watching. Well, that's where I'm streaming from as well. Graham asks, how do you keyword optimize, especially thinking about when going through books of the Bible? Graham, that is such a great question. There are a number of different tools that you can use to keyword optimize, to do keyword optimized searches. So if you've got a topic that, say, I'll use this as the example. Say you're doing a message series on the book of Genesis, for example. What if you just type in your church name in the book of Genesis? Really, nobody is specifically searching those things, I would argue, on Google or on YouTube. But if you are talking about a specific topic, like, for example, how was the world created? You might want to call your video, How Was the World Created? And what I would do in that instance is I would use tools like Morning Fame is one that I use, but I specifically love using vidIQ. It's probably the best one that I have. And I type that, I do a keyword search in vidIQ. I'll type in the words, how was the world created? And what vidIQ does is it does a search of all the terms that people are actually typing into toolbars, and it gives me the one that's most compatible with the topic that I'm talking about. There are other tools that do this as well, such as Google keyword searches, such as TubeBuddy. I just happen to use vidIQ. And in fact, later on, if you come back to this chat just in a little bit, I will give you a link where you can get a month free of vidIQ, or you can get a discount to a subscription to vidIQ. I'll give you 2 different links for that. So one of the things, Graham, I hope this is answering your question. What I would do is I would take the topic that you're talking about rather than the title of the book of the Bible that you're going through. So again, if you're talking about Genesis and you're talking about creation, you might want to call your message, your video, how the world was created, or how people were created, or something along those lines around the topic rather than the book. I hope that answered your question. Casey has asked, would you recommend mixing up all those call to actions in each video, or posting all of them in every video? Casey, one of the things I suggest is that as part of the YouTube Studio default upload area, what you can do is you can actually put a default description as well. And so what I like to do is leave the top part blank that is specific to the video that you're uploading. But then after that, that's where I have default descriptions laid out that literally for every video that goes up says, hey, subscribe to this channel for more content like this. That says, hey, if you want to know more about this channel, or if you want to know more about this church or more about this topic, here's the website. if you want to get connected with us, we'd love to get to know you. Here's our YouTube, here's our Twitter, here's our Facebook, here's our Instagram handles. These are all things that I would post into every single video because you want to make as many connections as possible. And you don't know if somebody's watching the day after you posted or if they're watching 5 years after you posted. So you want to make sure that whatever time frame they're watching in, that you're helping them get connected to you in the best possible way. I'm going to take one more question, then I need to just move on with the show. It's already 2:30. The time goes so fast. Blaine says, any tips for thumbnails? Blaine, I've actually got a bunch of different tips, and I'm going to share those next week when I do the next 5 of the 10 commandments for YouTube. Brady, hey man, I'm in North Jersey. Thanks for the videos. Hey Brady, thank you so much. I'm so glad that you're watching with us today. I love New Jersey. That's where I used to live. So I feel like I'm talking to one of my own. Even though I'm from Australia, I kind of feel like I'm from New Jersey as well. Hey, we're already over time, but I'm just going to finish off the show real quick with a couple of quick things that I always like to do. The first one is the channel to watch. This is where I share with you guys a channel that has caught my attention in the past 7 days, or a channel that I would highly recommend. Sometimes they're going to be church channels, sometimes they're going to be Christian channels, sometimes they're not, because I like to watch a whole bunch of different things. But the channel that I recommend you go out and check out this week is this channel right here, Corridor Crew. Now, Corridor Crew are a group of special effects artists, and their channel consists of them breaking down key parts to some of the best movies in the world, a lot of the movies that I really like. And so they break it down from a special effects point of view. Sometimes they have stuntmen in with them, and they break down some of the biggest stunts from Hollywood. And it's just a really interesting and informative show from a movie. As a movie buff, I love watching it for that reason alone. But it's also fun and it's really informative. They sit on a couch when they do a lot of their things. And I think there's something to that for us in the church world, because they don't approach it from an overproduced point of view. They just sit on a couch, they're watching a video, and they talk about what they're seeing on the video. Imagine if we did a similar sort of thing where some people in your church just sat around and talked about a topic that is, that is alive in the culture today. I think that would be a great opportunity to watch that channel and see how you could leverage what the Corridor Crew guys are doing in your church. I think that's something that too often we look to other churches to inspire us, when I think we could also be looking to what's happening in the world, what's popular in the world, and start utilizing some of their tips to bring them into the church. So go and check out the Corridor Crew. I'll leave a link in the description in just a few minutes, but that is a great channel. I absolutely love watching those guys, and I'm sure there's something in there for church people as well, if you want to just take that framework that they use. There's a guy actually who I'll talk about. There's a pastor in Canada who I think actually takes that style really, really well and leverages YouTube in a very unique way to make sure that he's got that Corridor Crew kind of casual approach to his videos, but he's so informative and I can't stop watching. He's probably going to be my video of the week next week. So just watch this space. Make sure you check that out. Now, I also like to do, before I go, I like to do a video of the week as well. This is the video that caught my attention as I was watching YouTube this week. And again, this is not from a Christian channel. It's a guy who is a Christian. His name is Peter McKinnon. He's a photographer that I follow on YouTube, and he is just a fantastic YouTuber. He's got about 2 million subscribers, and his messages are always super, super positive. But this video specifically caught my attention. It was called The Gift of Photography. And the reason why it caught my attention was the whole video was about him calling out another photographer who had called him out on his YouTube channel. And it was just this a great example of somebody who wasn't on a platform like YouTube to promote themselves, but was leveraging it to promote somebody else. And that is such a rare thing in this world. So often in the church, we get so caught up only talking about ourselves and what's going on in our building, instead of leveraging social media and things like YouTube to lift up the value of other churches and other people. And so even though this guy is not a Christian, he is a Christian, but he's not doing a Christian content channel, this video, The Gift of Photography, was such a powerful reminder to me about how we need to leverage our platform, regardless of what it is, whether it's Instagram or Twitter or if it's YouTube, to lift up the value of other people. So I want to know, what is your favorite video? What was the video that you watched on YouTube in the past week that most caught your attention? Could you tell us in the comments? Could you maybe even leave a link in the comments so that we can all go and watch it and enjoy the things that you're enjoying as well? Okay, so that's, I'm already past time. I'm so sorry I've gone a little bit over. I'm sure you guys don't mind. Next week, I'm going to be continuing with the 10 commandments of how to YouTube your church, the 10 commandments on how to YouTube your church. It's going to be starting right back here at 2 p.m. Eastern time, so make sure you come and check that out. I'm going to keep answering your questions in the comment section right now. So even if you're watching later on today, if you're watching tomorrow, next week, next month, next year, I'm going to keep coming back into the comment section to answer any questions that you might have. I'm so glad that you were here. I'm so glad that you joined us. I'm so glad that you're interested in YouTubing your church. That's really what we're here for. Make sure you let me know where you're watching from and all that sort of stuff. Any questions you have in the comment section. Thanks so much, guys. I will see you next week for another episode of YouTube Your Church.